Tell us about the project that you've been involved in actually trying to help those people who are actually less privileged.
Okay. What I did is, as Juliet Miyabo, a couple of years ago, I started working with the Department of Education within a company that I was running called Jema Productions. But working with children, I realized that normally after school, they have very little to do. There's no recreational facilities that have been set up in the townships, etc. And then what I then did, starting Orange Farm, Alexander, and Soweto, I then started a team where I coached children in speed skating. But the way I started was by making sure that I actually put together skates. I bought the skates. I'd go to various shops to accumulate skates, and at some point Unilever bought me a whole about 200 sets of skates, rollerblades, which was excellent. But now the other challenge that I realized when I was training the kids in the sport, or the team is called Jema Skaters, by the way, and I coached and managed and administered the team. That very team actually even went as far as the nationals, where they won competitions and they broke records. But one of the things that I realized that I was working with children who at times would collapse from a lack of food. You know, children who, obviously as a coach, I would push them hard. I would expect them to work as hard as possible. But the challenge was some of them would not have had a proper meal, finding out that some of them the previous day had not eaten anything. I then combined two elements. I kept the Jema Skaters, which is the sport part, and I trained them, and thank God I was recognized by the Woman of the Year, Checkers Woman, Shoprite Checkers SABC2 Woman of the Year, for my work with the kids and starting a new sport in the townships. With Freedom Kids, I go around to different companies. I go to different companies. I speak to whoever it is that can give us blankets. I send out letters to schools. And whatever help that we get, then I distribute it to children.
And what motivates you to do all these things?
I grew up in a poor environment, and it took, for instance, a teacher, actually not even a teacher, my school principal, and a few of my teachers to believe in me, for me to realize that I was worth something. It took a grandmother, fortunately she's passed on, who believed in me, who later took me into her life, though it was difficult. And so that aspect meant all it takes at times is one person to make a difference in that person's life. The other aspect of what motivates me, it's the need for me to see, I can say, Africa changing. You know, Africa is a huge continent, and they always say charity begins at home. I'll only be comfortable to go back to my community when I know that I'm making a difference.